Your lesson essential question is, how does a story progress from beginning to end? So we're going to go back to talking about beginning, middle, and end. And we'll talk about those characters' actions and reactions throughout a story in response to a problem. You've learned that every story has characters, settings, and a plot. Characters respond to major events to create the plot. So we know that the plot is made out of the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. The first thing we'll do is we'll identify the characters and the setting in the story. Then we'll identify the problem the characters are facing. That's the beginning of the story. After that, we'll identify how the characters act and react throughout the story. So through the middle, you know that they react through their thoughts, their words, and their actions. And then we'll identify the solution to the problem in the end. So we'll look for those thoughts, words, and actions. We'll also look for illustrations that show the characters' thoughts, words, feelings, and actions, so pictures. And we'll think about what happens at the beginning, the middle, and the end. So we're going to read Jasper the Farm Cat, and we'll talk about the story's structure together. Jasper was a farm cat. His job was to catch mice in the barn. Before we keep reading, identify for me the character and the setting. Our character is Jasper. He's a farm cat, and the setting is the barn. The people he lived with didn't want mice in the barn. The mice ate the horse's grain. As you know, most cats like catching mice. But Jasper wasn't like most other cats. He had become friends with the mice in the barn. He didn't want to catch them. So at the beginning of the story, the people wanted Jasper to catch the mice in the barn because they were eating the horse's grain. What's Jasper's problem at the beginning of the story? Jasper didn't want to catch the mice. Let's see how Jasper responds to his problem. "What am I going to do?" said Jasper to Millie, one of his mouse friends. "If I don't catch you, my people might want to get rid of me, and I like it here." So in paragraph 2, Jasper responds by asking Millie what he should do, and he's responding through his words. So he says, "What am I going to do?" Let's see what he does. For days, Jasper worried about what to do. Then he had an idea. He was always seeing the people he lived with throw food scraps in the kitchen. All this food just went to waste. If he snuck these food scraps into the mice, then they wouldn't have to eat the horse's grain. So Jasper now responds by worrying. So now he's responding through his feelings. Then he has a thought. He has an idea. So he responds through his thoughts. Let's see how the story ends. So that's just what he did, and everyone was happy. Jasper's people saw that the mice were no longer taking the horse's grain. The mice had food to eat, and Jasper had his friends. So how was the problem solved at the end of the story? The problem was solved by Jasper sneaking food scraps to the mice. So now the mice are no longer eating the horse's grains. You're going to be answering a discussion question today, and you're going to be describing what happens at the beginning of the story.